It's 7 p.m. here in the dark confines of Ventnor City, New Jersey, and in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Even though it looks like my son's in my kitchen, he is not. This is Saturday night from CarEdge with your host, me, Ray, and that other guy is dressed for Halloween, I can tell.
Yeah, the Halloween costume's coming on after the show. Pops, let's kick things off with this. A hell of a week in the auto industry. We covered it over on the Ray and Zach channel, and we have some more breaking news just
Yes.
tonight. The United Auto Workers have reached a tentative deal with get out of here. With Stellantis,
Yes.
Pops. They're supposedly Stellantis is matching Ford's offer of a 25% wage increase. What do you make of this, Dad? It seems like the strike is on its last legs here.
Well, apparently so. And my understanding was that the GM had agreed to match the same 25% increase. So I would imagine that tentative settlement could be coming anytime now. And well, once again, another one of my predictions is, well, just off, I tell you. Originally, I said 10 days to 2 weeks. And then just a few days ago, I said, I think it'll be settled by Thanksgiving at the latest. And hell, they didn't even wait till Halloween. And it's all up to a vote of the rank and file. My suspicion is that the rank and file will vote overwhelmingly in favor of the new contract. And then we can get back to things as normal, which means more BS coming out of the mouths of many of the executives at the big three legacy auto manufacturers here in the United States.
One of the most fascinating aspects of this, so any contract negotiation typically is going to be prolonged. There's going to be lots of back and forth. UAW and the OEMs, the domestic OEMs, no exception there. It was relatively long, 41 days for Ford. I guess this would have put us at like 45 or so days for Stellantis. It'll end up being less than 50 days, most likely, over at General Motors. All the while, Dad, the whole point of the strike is to cause some financial difficulty to the company, to say, hey, you're not going to pay us. You're going to lose money, if you don't at least give us what we're asking for, what we're demanding, what we think is fair. What I found to be so interesting is that when we look at the days supply of inventory, this comes, guys, from October 5th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The headline, even back then, new vehicle inventory rises despite UAW strike. GM was the most vulnerable. Even amidst an ongoing strike, we have seen new vehicle inventory continue to build up. I would not say pile up yet because, pre-pandemic, there used to be 4 million new cars for sale, but it is getting significantly higher. It was as low as 800, 900,000 vehicles in inventory. And when you look at the chart that starts to demonstrate the supply of inventory by brand, like Stellantis makes Dodge and Chrysler and Ram and Jeep, and all of them, Dad, have the most sitting inventory in the industry. So it's interesting to me. You can even make a case that if I'm Stellantis, I kind of wanted the strike to keep going on because you know what? I don't need my Ram 1500s being created, being produced. They've got 60,000 of them for sale right now, but only 6,000 have sold in the last 45 days. They've got an oversupply.
Well, they do. But, don't forget that chart was from 23 days ago. We don't know what the retail delivery report situation has been over the past 23 days. And a retail delivery report, for those who don't know, is what gets filed with the manufacturer, with the factory, when the retail customer takes delivery of their new vehicle. And that's when the time starts for the 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty. So perhaps, and I don't know this, but perhaps there were an inordinate number of sales over the past 23 days, and they could see a dramatic decline with their on-hand inventory. I don't know that to be the case. I would actually be surprised if it were the case. But sales were still happening, and so GM, Ford, Stellantis, they could see what was going on with their on-hand inventory, and they knew that if it dragged on any longer, that it could have an impact on what would be going on in the future. Now, let's assume for 1 second that there wasn't that dramatic increase in sales, since I doubt that there really was, that would lend credence to our belief that the best deals of the year on new cars will be upcoming the middle to the end of December. Um, Typically, the end of December is the best time to buy a new car if you're looking for a new car, not order a new car, to actually take delivery of a new car. Um, and so, with inventories being what they had been, with workers going back to work, more vehicles getting built, I think in my heart of hearts that December, from the middle of December to the end of December, will just be an absolutely killer time to buy a new vehicle if you are indeed in the market for a new vehicle.
Yeah, 100%. You also need to think about the fact that these automakers lost tons of money during the strike. We're going to be looking at that in just a moment. And now their cost infrastructure to produce vehicles just went up significantly. And
Yes.
so we should not be surprised. We haven't been surprised to see material increases in manufacturer suggested retail prices. For example, the Ford Lariat, we had that trim for 2024. The pricing announced, and it's $9,600 more year over year. Even the base options over $2,000 more year over year. So we should anticipate that MSRPs are going to continue to go up. That being said, incentive spend so that people can actually get a deal, that will also continue to go up. We saw that
Hmm.
last quarter, even amidst the strikes and the supposed, lack of inventory when there really wasn't a lack of inventory. So it'll be interesting to see the trickle effects from these 40, 50 day, outages of
Hmm.
production. I'm just like you. I'm excited to see what happens come end of year. I think we're headed back towards deal making. I'm already seeing it day in and
Yes.
day out. And that's a good thing for consumers. You don't want to be in a situation like we've been. I actually have some data pulled up. We were looking at it, Dad. We were looking at EVs because we obviously EVs versus hybrid vehicles. We had the video go out on the CarEdge channel today, and Justin on the team pulled this right here. I mean, kind of looking forward all over, Dad. They've got a 130-day supply of F-150s. Doesn't matter if it's a hybrid, Lightning, or non-hybrid. They got 130 plus day supply.
Wow.
It's only when you start to get into brands like Toyota, it doesn't really matter if it's non-hybrid or it's their plug-in hybrid. They have significantly less. So you're seeing the domestics. We've seen the domestics have an increase in inventory, ultimately leading to a better deal-making environment for consumers. Again, with those inflated MSRPs. So it's kind of like,
Well, and there's a multitude of reasons why deal making should improve. One, inventory levels, as we have spoken about, are higher than they've been in 2+ years. Um, what's also higher than it's been in, well, probably 10 years, is the cost to finance that inventory to have it sit on your lot. So that is a motivating factor for dealerships today. Um, when you were paying 1% floor plan charges, it didn't amount to much. When you're paying 6.5, 7.5% to finance the vehicles that are sitting on your lot, that adds up in a hurry.
yeah.
So that will motivate dealers. Dealers are going to be screaming and hollering at their factory reps saying, "We need help from you to move these vehicles. We need better incentives." So the manufacturers will come out with better incentives. So when you combine all that, I don't think it's far fetched to say that we're going to see deals to be had moving forward. And the strongest deals will always be the last 2 weeks of the year. But I would suspect the end of this month, as we continue through Tuesday night and into November, I think dealers are getting themselves geared up to, well, negotiate again.
Dad, my inbox is flooded with fire sale marketing promotions and things like that. So I see it happening day in and day out. You mentioned floor plan. Also, by the way, I do have the banner on the screen. We are still hiring. Please apply to come join our team, caredge.com/careers. We're building something that we think is pretty special here. We would love to see you join us. Floor Plan Dad, car dealership guy over on X. He posted this: dealers can't afford to let cars, quote, rot on the lot. Why? Because inventory carrying costs are way up. All caps. Here's a crazy example. This dealer's floor plan expense grew 13x. That's 1,300% for those of you playing along at home in 1 year. This is a text message that was screenshotted and he shared. Want to hear something kind of wild? This is the dealer texting CDG. Our floor plan expense through September 2021, $46,000. 2022, $49,000. 2023, $620,000. For those of you that are unfamiliar, floor plan is the interest expense to hold inventory on your lot. It's not free to have it sit there unless you paid cash for it. But most dealers don't pay cash. And so you have a justification, a rationale to lower the price, to
a motivation. You know, it's the whole thing comes down to motivation. Is it something that's been sitting on the lot that's been costing the dealer a lot of money to have it sit there, that increases that dealer's motivation to make it disappear? Okay. And so, as you could see from that tweet, 13 times higher for floor plan costs this year, just through September, for that particular dealer. That's a huge motivating factor. The fact that interest rates for auto loans are up, and the only way that there's only a handful of ways that you can impact a monthly payment, and that would be a subvented interest rate, a larger cash or trade equity down, or some incentives from the manufacturer and the motivation of the dealer to discount the vehicle so that they can fit it in to that payment that will work for the customer, so the customer can finally shake his head up and down like this and go, yes, I'll take the car. Where do I sign? It's so, yes, the whole thing is motivation.
Yeah, 100%. It absolutely is. And on a per unit basis, it's a significant amount of money. And what I mean by per unit is every single car. We look at these numbers in aggregate and it's shocking. I'll use an example here. Here is a Ford invoice. All right. So this is what Ford sends to the dealers. This is an invoice for, I forget which vehicle this is, but the invoice total was $36,605. FPA on this invoice stands for floor plan assistance.
Yes.
So start to think about this, folks. The manufacturer is underwriting, subsidizing. What would that be in this case? 1.33%, between 1.33% and 1.5% of invoice cost. Probably 1.5% of MSRP.
And it represents about probably 30 to 45 days worth of time.
So there you go. Like, let that sink in for a second. The manufacturer is going to subsidize, let's call it 1 to 1.5% of the vehicle's MSRP to help offset interest payments made on that sitting metal machine on a dealer's lot. That lasts them, let's say, 45 days. So then when you go, like, let's you know me, man, I love doing this stuff. So let's go to the car search and let's type in Ford. You know, we rag on Ford a lot. Well, let's do a Ram today.
Okay.
Let's do a Ram 1500. Let's do a new one. How about this 2020? Okay. The reason this one's here is probably because I put so many accessories and things on. Let's do a 2023. Holy cow. 2023, Dad.
Yeah.
It's been on here for 120 days. 120 days on the market, and it's a $75,000 pickup truck.
Okay. So it might have cost them $1,000 to have it sit there.
Exactly. And you know, they might make from invoice to MSRP on a $75,000 Ram 1500 $6,000. Like, it's a very profitable truck for them.
Yes.
But to be writing down $1,000 just because it's been sitting there, just make the deal sooner. And I know this firsthand because we work with dealers nowadays, folks. We've got a dealer network. We're having these conversations. Hey, Zach, can you help us sell this old A truck, this old AF truck that we've got? Well, guys, lower the price. Like, it's pretty, like, yes, I'll help you, but like, you can help yourself. Lower the price. You know, it's not that hard because you're paying so much money to have it sit there. These massive pickup trucks are a great example of that. These EVs, these expensive EVs that aren't selling, are a great example of that. The whole model is going back to turn and earn. They just are going to want to flip the vehicles as quickly as possible, get trade-ins so they can make money there. That's where they're headed.
Think about it this way. Most of the manufacturers have concentrated their efforts on building the high profit margin pickup trucks and SUVs, 70, 80, $90,000 trucks. And let's say it's an $80,000 truck and the invoice on that is, let's say there was 10% margin in it, and the invoice amount to the dealer is $72,000.
Yeah.
Doesn't take a whole lot of trucks for you to start having to, you've accumulated several $1 million worth of inventory sitting there that you are paying interest on. Think about that. If you had 10 of those trucks, that's 720,000 just on those 10 trucks. If you've got 200, 300 cars in inventory, you're talking 10, 12, $15 million. You're financing that month in and month out.
Yep.
That's the reason that dealers will be motivated to get rid of these things. And if you find a dealer that isn't, well, that's because he's got his head stuck up his ass. Okay?
That's because they're living in 2 years ago, 18 months ago.
Yes.
18 months ago, car dealers were making, on average, I mean, NADA no longer comes out with the data, but the big public share it, more than $6,000 on every car sold. More
Yes.
than $6,000. Last time I checked, Pops, the average transaction price never got quite up to $60,000. They were making 12, 15, sometimes even 20% gross profit on a car deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're heading back down to where it should be, which is 5 to 10%. That's fair.
Yes.
5 to 10% is fair. You want to make 5 to 10% on a car deal, you can keep your lights on, you can turn a lot of inventory, you can have a very profitable, successful business. But there's dealers out there that are operating like it's 20%. And I think for consumers, for the point of this show is know that the market, I could have gone with market flip, bubble, kapow, whatever the hell it is. Times are changing. What's like a song, like seasons are changing, something changes.
Really?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay. Just between you, me, and the 1,100 people, we need to choreograph this stuff just a wee bit better.
Yeah, it's happening, man. Changes are happening. And we've had this conversation with Brandon over at Car Questions Answered. I saw your video with him today. That was awesome, by the way. Pops.
Oh, did it drop today?
Yeah, it was over on the Car Question Answers live channel.
The one he and I did yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'll have to watch it later.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really, really good. I'll drop the link in the chat for anyone that's interested. But Dad, he's always talked about, or he's shared with us, a lot of dealers are going to go out of business. Not necessarily new car dealers, but a lot of used car dealers who were made during this environment where it was easy to make money are going to really, 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 the crap's going to hit the fan in an environment where it's like a lot more difficult to make money. There's a lot more skill that goes into it because there's not as much profit built into these deals as there was 18 months ago. That's good news for consumers.
Those of us who have spent a lifetime in the car business, one of the first things you learn is that on pre-owned cars, you make your profit when you buy the car, not when you sell the car, when you buy the car. And what that means is, are you buying it for a cheap enough price so that you can then turn around and make that nice profit on it? And there were a lot of dealers out there that got into the business in the last 3-4 years, and they don't know what that means. They don't get that you can't overpay for everything and then hope to stay in business. You have to be able to buy at a cheaper price point than what you ultimately end up selling it for. And There are a lot of dealers didn't get that, and there are a lot of dealers who don't get it and will find themselves out of business because they didn't understand that. So it's all in. That's why dealerships, just as an educational aside for people, dealerships can never afford to offer you as the customer as much for your trade in as what you, the customer, can go out and sell it for privately. And the reason for that is if they pay what a private party is going to pay, there ain't nobody left to buy it when they have to go sell it. So you have to understand they have to be able to pay less than what they can retail it for. If they can, it doesn't make sense for them to buy it. So when a customer used to say to me, well, I could always sell it for more, I used to look them dead in the eye and go, trading your car means you're going to take less for the vehicle than you could get for it doing anything else with it. But the reason you're willing to do it is for the convenience of having it done. You don't have to place an ad. You don't have to have people show up either at your work or at your house or wherever it is. You don't know if they're going to show up with a gun. Okay. You know what? Seriously, you don't. And you don't know that when you hand them the keys to test drive the car, if they're actually coming back. These are things that you're not prepared for. And at dealerships, we were somewhat prepared for it. And, and did people ever show up with a gun? I'm sure they did. Anyway,
Pops,
okay.
I want to turn our attention to something that came up in the chat, and you're talking about with trade-ins and selling vehicles. We've got from Billy Bagels here. Does your website sell cars? Like, can you sell cars through CarEdge.com? I just became handicapped and can't drive my car anymore. Sorry to hear that, Billy. Hope you're going to be okay. And to my dad's point, you're always going to get the most doing private party. We've got a fun little contraption back at CarEdge.com/sell that can help you get the most before you sell a vehicle, whether you sell it through us or do the trade-in or private party. Carvana sends me value trackers all the time. This 2019 Volkswagen Beetle, they think it's appreciating like a rocket, man. Look at that go.
Wow.
Up to $27,932 is the offer from Carvana. So I went to CarEdge.com/sell and I popped it in here, Dad, and let's see what happens. Yesterday when we did this over on the Ray and Zach channel,
well,
Carvana
I must say, I realize it felt like summer here at the shore today, but it ain't convertible. We're not heading into convertible season. So typically convertibles tend to go down in value when the weather gets colder.
Let's see what happens here. We got
maybe
tires,
not a Carvana.
no issues with the wheels. Sure, I'll buy another car. Let's see. All right, again, so this is an example, guys, of what you can do to sell your vehicle and make sure you're getting top dollar. Private party, again, without a doubt, is absolutely where you can get the most. It's also significantly more work. We've got Carvana at $27,932. And the drum roll, please. We're going to see if anyone else in the network is interested in paying even more.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Yeah, apparently we're just spinning our wheels here.
Yeah, but we're smelling smarter and faster.
Yes.
Wow, it's really thinking on this one, Pops.
It is. It's waiting for the AI to kick in.
Wow, there you go. The exact $32 away. Car Gurus at $27,900. CarMax at $26,000. Vroom doesn't have an offer yet. Give Me the VIN doesn't have an offer yet. So there you go. Actually, this is surprising. This is 2 in a row.
It's not, that one wasn't surprising to me because, as I said, we're headed in. It's not convertible season.
It's surprising to me. It surprised me that Carvana for 2 cars in a row. I got one more queued up that we can. All right, let's test one more. Because Carvana's come back now twice as our high
bidders. The high bidders. Yeah. All
right, I got one more. Let's try one more. How about this?
Their buyer was the last one standing with his hand up saying, "Yeah, I'll pay too much." Yeah, I want to be that guy.
This is my dad's. This Yeah, this one's your Mini, if I'm not mistaken.
Which one?
Right there, right? Your old Mini?
The 2020. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is your old Mini. So
Old.
Carvana
That,
says it
that,
has a
that is that is 2 minis ago.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
apologies.
That's
So
fine.
Carvana,
No.
look at how much Carvana's saying it's gone up in value, Dad.
$3,000, almost $3,000,
In a month.
$2,500.
In a month.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm guessing that might top out at around 24.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm entering the information. Let me share this tab so we can all play along. There we go. We've got our 2020 Mini Clubman. I'm curious, man. I'm absolutely curious. Clean.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
we own
was it
it.
ever? Yeah.
Never been smoked in.
Oh
Maybe
no.
this is some live testing that could demonstrate that actually just sell your car to Carvana. Don't deal with any of the private party crapola. They're maybe paying top dollar again. Like that's
Yeah.
maybe what this is showing us. Let's see. We got the
Well,
key.
they haven't come out with the quarterly earnings yet, so they might be willing to overpay for a few more days, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, Carvana earnings this upcoming week and Credit
yeah,
Acceptance Corporation as well. We'll move on from
yeah.
this after in just a second, but I want to see here really quickly again. Carvana. Wow,
What did I say?
what did you say?
What was it before?
Dad, this is a freaking
What was
insane
the
offer.
Carvana offer? And I said I thought it'd be around 24. And CarMax offered how much?
25.6.
Now, here's the reason for that, just so you know.
Please, because I'm in
And I will,
disbelief right now.
this is for any Mini owner out there. The second largest seller of pre-owned Minis in the United States is CarMax. Okay, they are the second largest seller of Minis. They've always done well with them for whatever reason. I don't know. We used to always get them at our shop because, I can't tell you how many Minis with CarMax plates on the back came into our shop to get, the needed work to be done to make it run right. But yeah, nobody sells more Minis other than Mini dealers. Nobody sells more used Minis than CarMax does. So they've always paid top dollar for them, and apparently they always will.
I truly, like, I'm sitting here and I'm kind of in disbelief that that CarMax is offering 25.6 for a 2020 Mini with 40 whatever it was,
41,000 miles.
41,000 miles on it, and Carvana is your closest competitive offer, and it's almost $2,000 less. Anyway, all right, I'm moving on.
$2,000 less.
Yeah, it was $3,000.
Yeah.
$22,073 versus $25,600. That's $3,600 less. That's insane. Anyway, all right. We're going to turn our attention to this question here from Jay Boxer. So don't buy used, buy new. We're going to do that in just one moment. Before we do,
yes,
on Monday, Auto Insiders with Ray Shefska. This podcast, which will also be simulcast or shared on YouTube, will launch. CarEdge.com/podcast. We are currently at 349 subscribers, Dad, on your new channel. This is 100% my dad. Look at him go, folks. Wow. I don't want you to hurt your shoulders. Excuse me. We're at 349 subscribers over on that channel. This is, I'll give you the floor in just a second, solely with my dad. I would love to see when we refresh this page at the end of the show, a few more subscribers over there. Again, 3 episodes. All drop on Monday. Episodes will drop at 9 a.m. Eastern time every Monday for the foreseeable future. And Pops, what is your 30-second elevator pitch for Auto Insiders with Ray Shefska and why people should watch on YouTube or listen on their favorite podcast platform?
Well, if you want to learn a little something that you would never have guessed about some of the people that are in the automobile industry, they are people just like you and me.
So it's an interview show.
It is entirely an interview show. It's more conversational than anything. I'm the guy that gets to ask the questions. I'll also answer questions when asked of me. But I'm the one that poses the questions, and it gave me an opportunity to learn some stuff about some of these people that I had no idea. I will share one question I asked Kelly, the car mom, when I interviewed her. I said, Kelly, you're Kelly, the car mom. You're Kelly, the real mom. You're Kelly, the wife. How the hell do you find time to do all that? I mean, because we just think of her as Kelly, the car mom. which in and of itself is a full-time job.
100%.
And
She's got 3 kids, man.
she's got
She's got
3
3
kids.
kids. She's got a
Yeah.
business. She's got a husband. She's got a family. Yeah.
Yeah, and the kids, as she told me, they take precedence. God bless her, as well they should. But it's just things like that, and I've had some great conversations with some really wonderful people. Kelly, Jared Kalfas, the president of Black Book, the F&I goddess herself, Miss Kimberly Klein, Farzad. I mean, just some really great conversations where Igor, Brandon, I just had the opportunity to learn about the people that help this business, that are involved in this business. And yes, there's car talk. Yes, there's people talk. Yes, there's stories. Some are funny, some are sad. Yeah, it's just it represents life. That's it. That's my pitch.
I love that, Pops. I absolutely love that. All right, let's just take a quick peek, and then we will jump back to that question. So we were at 349. That's a great looking headshot, Pops. We are at, drum roll, please, 370. Wow. Thank you, everyone.
Oh Lord.
I really hope that people enjoy. I haven't listened to any of it. I can't wait. The CarEdge.com/podcast will also share all of the various links and places where you can listen. All right, let's go back to this question that came, Dad, from one of our
Yes.
community members here, Jay Boxer. So don't buy used, buy new. I hate thinking this through because there's so many different pathways and avenues. I think
Yes.
end of this year, buy a new car. If you can budget for it, and if you're in the market and you need to do something, the quality of used cars that I've personally seen, deals that I've helped put together, deals that I've been a part of, they're shoddy, man, and the prices are still very, very high. So I'm team new at end of year.
Mhm.
What do you think, Pops?
Well, I think used car prices are still high. Used car asking prices are still high. And we talked about all the motivating factors that are going to be driving new car sales and new car opportunities. So, with what we discussed earlier in the show, if you can find the new car with the discount, many cases you're going to be better off buying that with a complete warranty than you are a 1, 2, or 3-year-old used car. So, because many of these used cars, people are still going to be paying way too much. And in many cases, as much or more than what the original MSRPs were.
We still
Um,
see that for certain vehicles, Dad. Like, it's not out of the question to find a used car that's selling for more than its original MSRP. Like, it's just it doesn't. You can't. It's hard to rationalize that one.
yes.
It's hard as a customer to ask to see the original window sticker.
Can I borrow Brandon's answer? Buy a
Yeah, absolutely.
$2,000 Ford Taurus. That's always the answer. That's when you say hello to Brandon, his response is, you should buy a $2,000 Ford Taurus. That's how he says hello. That's when you know he's really paying attention.
Oh man, I did not mean to pull that comment up. I was trying to uncomment another one. I do not condone that type of comment on this channel, and we are going to
I
put
didn't
user
see
in
it.
timeout. Good. So you're better off for it. Yeah, Dad. I
Good.
really think when you're going about trying to think through used and new, if
Yes.
you can justify, if you can financially justify, because it's hard to find some of the cheaper new vehicles, but if you can financially justify, it's probably less headache in the long run to go with the new one, full warranty, all that fun stuff, than going for the used one, where unfortunately the quality of those vehicles, we can look at all the different data sources. It's more repos, it's more off fleet, off rental car, and there's
Mm,
even companies. Oh man, I meant to tell you about this. I'll tell you about it on the air. They reached out to us. I forget what the company's name is, but they're incubated by Avis, and they're a
okay.
car subscription service. So you subscribe to the car, but it's really just a ploy to allow Avis to make money off of their cars that they no longer want in their rental fleet. I
Okay.
was talking to one of the people over there, and I was just like, "This sounds terrible, man." Like, as a consumer, it just sounds terrible. You're getting a beat up rental car that Avis has now figured out how to wrap, like, kind of interesting branding around, to make it seem cool. You're subscribing to a used car when really it's just a way for them to try and monetize this thing that's already been, put through
Well,
the ringer. Yeah.
well, when subscription services for cars first started to come out, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, and you would pay X amount per month, and you'd be driving a car, and you had these exchange plans with them, and you could exchange it 3 times, whatever you wanted to do. I know, at the group that I worked for, they decided to get into the subscription business, and it wasn't any of their new cars. It was service loaners. It was retired service loaners that they were putting into the subscription fleet, which made perfect sense because you could continue to write them down.
Yeah.
And you could still be making money off of those service loaners. So, yeah, but it didn't
You're going
catch
to see
on.
more and more. You're going to see more and more ploys towards subscription, micro leases, things like that, as car payments become. This is what. So, Automotive News, we've referenced them frequently. They're the industry publication. They had a big panel recently, and they used the term affordability crisis all throughout that. I don't know if you saw it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
I saw some of the heads, and I'm thinking, well, did they pay any attention to you and I? We talked about that crap every day.
We know they pay attention to us. Automotive News has written about us when the
Yes.
FTC was receiving comments from consumers about their proposed rules. Automotive News literally referenced us in an article saying that most of the comments referenced our organization. So, they know who we are. We've had conversations with them.
Yes.
I doubt anything ever material happens there until we, take over the world and they're forced to write about us. That being said, they were talking about affordability crisis everywhere. And what frustrates me is the solution is going to be probably some kid my age who's some MBA who came out of whatever school, and they're going to say, well, you know what? We did all this focus groups. All the customers want is a lower monthly payment. Here's what you do. It's no longer a monthly payment. They pay weekly. And instead of owning anything, they just micro lease it, like a micro dose. It's going to be some bull crap like that, man. When in reality, all we need to do is just be a little less greedy, make more affordable vehicles, focus on that, and people could buy the doggone things.
I think when I was watching the World Series last night, and there was a commercial from Chevrolet, and they featured 3 vehicles: the Bolt, the Trax, and the I forget what the third one was, and they were all under $30,000. And I thought to myself, holy mackerel! I think they're figuring out the affordability crisis. They actually ran a commercial during the World Series extolling the virtues of their cars that started at $21,495 and worked their way up to under $30,000. So, they could convene that conference, but they already know the answer. It's just that they don't want to do anything about it. But that's the we've been talking about an affordability crisis. You can go back 2 years or more, and we talk about the chasm between the haves and the have-nots, between those who can and those who can't. And we've been talking about that for, I don't know, 2-3 years. And ain't nobody paying me $21 million a year to but they could just come to me and I'll straighten their asses out. It doesn't take that much. And it doesn't take a giant conference with panel discussions to come up with it. Talk to a real normal human being. They'll tell you.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. And I think they are waking up, Dad. Look at what you just said. Look at what you just described. General Motors putting money behind their entry level options. And we were at the Detroit Auto Show, and you sat in the tracks, and you know what you said? You said, this is great for what it is. It's great. It's absolutely great.
And everybody complains, well, it's a 3-cylinder turbo. I don't know. Minis had 3-cylinder turbos for years. The BMW engines, they work. Okay, they work. I drove a hardtop that was the 3-cylinder, just a regular hardtop. Didn't have any issues with it. Put 40-some thousand miles on it.
You're also a lease guy, so let's keep going.
Yeah, that's besides the point.
We had a thoughtful contribution come in from Bodo Bob, excuse me. I
Photo
like
Bob.
this, by the way. I like
Thank
this.
you.
Yes, thanks. Did California ban driverless cars? Yeah, they did.
Yes.
They did.
Yes. You can no
Never
longer
forget tomorrow. Agree with you, and
cruise.
me.
You can no longer cruise around in a driverless vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go here, Pops, from the Van fam. Thanks for the contribution. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right, this is going to be for you, Dad. Hedging whether to extend my lease 6 months, pay $60 more a month for 4 years to buy the old one, or bite the bullet on a new Pacifica hybrid.
Well, I don't know what you're driving now.
It sounds like it's a Pacifica hybrid. Sounds like he's leased a Pacifica hybrid, thinking about extending the lease 6 more months or buying the current one. And with the financing and everything, it'd be $60 more a month than what his current lease payment is to buy it out, or get into a new one. That's how I'm reading this question. But what, with that context, what would you do? What would you be
Well,
thinking about?
I don't know when his lease expires, but maybe you could just do monthly, and maybe in December, when the deal should be best. At that point, you can make a decision as to whether or not you should buy your current vehicle, or you should move into another one if the incentives are even greater. And don't forget, when I say the end of the year, um, those deals usually run through January 2nd or 3rd. So you've that would be my take. See what the deals are for the hybrid in December.
And they should be really, really, really good.
I would think so, because they have a really, really heavy day supply.
Yeah, they absolutely
Yeah.
do. And I know that gentleman was saying 6 months lease extension.
Yeah.
You're saying just see if you can do like month to month.
Well,
That's some
yeah,
sort of
most of the manufacturers will let you do a month to month. And some will let you do a month to month up to 12 months. Some might let you do a month to month up to 3 months. Some might be a month to month up to 6 months. So if they'll let you do a 6-month extension, ask them if you can just do a month to month extension.
because yeah, I think you're spot on. I would be looking at the market come December because used vehicle
45
values.
days from now. Yeah.
Yeah, the used vehicle value is not. Oh, and also we should mention on your lease buyout, see if you have lease equity. It's pretty simple to do. Put it in
Yeah.
caredge.com/sell, compare that to your lease payoff. And if the number's greater, then don't just turn it into the dealership. Buy it and sell it. That's
Or
100%
trade it,
or
or
trade it.
trade it and have them apply the equity, either as cash back to you, or if you want to use it, which is the best way to go, have them apply the equity as cash back to you.
Yeah, yeah. Because if you're leasing another vehicle, don't just
Yes.
put it down as
Yeah.
cash on the next
Yeah.
lease to
You
reduce
take that
the
equity
cap
check
cost.
they give you, put it in a savings account, and draw off it every month as you need it to make
All
up
right,
for the
just
difference in
gonna
the
just
payment.
gonna mention it. Just gonna mention it.
Yeah.
CarEdge.com. We
Yes.
have reorganized a few things here, folks.
Stop it.
Resources are now up here in the top right. All right. Deal School, 100% free. Dealer Reviews is being relaunched on Wednesday of next week. So get excited for that. That is a whole new interface for car dealer reviews. It is going to be awesome because last time I checked, it is
Mhm.
moderated by yours truly. Us two buffoons, all right? So ain't no dealers getting on there to clean up their reputation. This is for the community, by the community. CarEdge dealer reviews coming back out of Wednesday of this upcoming week. All of our guides, the cheat sheets, the strategy card, the community forum. I'm just referencing all of this because please go ask questions here. That we are so, I should share this with everyone candidly. We are very short staffed at CarEdge right now. We like truly are. We've gotten incredibly busy. We anticipate that between now and the end of the year, we'll be even busier. I've been on phone duty for one of our phone lines all day today. I haven't answered every single call. I haven't been able to answer every call, but I've answered many of them. And it is just so rewarding to talk to people and give them the resources. Just say, hey, go to this URL. Your question, I'll answer it as best I can right now, but go to this URL. Here's the resource for you. Oh, man. So I share that with everyone. Just like, please, they are there. We're happy to provide them. We've been working on this stuff for years, so it's awesome to be able to take those phone calls and tell people like, "Hey, please go reference this. It's in your back pocket." Okay, I'm off my
No,
my
no, that
soapbox
was
there.
good. That was good. You need to be on that. We need peeps.
We need peeps. All right, from Shannon.
Thank you,
Pops. It's always great
Shannon.
to see Shannon
Yeah.
here with us on the YouTube channel on the YouTube channel in our CarEdge community. A perfect Saturday evening watching Ray and Zach while enjoying a plate of chicken wings. That sounds tasty.
Ooh.
Followed by World Series Game 2. Looking forward to Ray's show as usual. A great show tonight. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank
It's
you so
awesome to
much,
have her in
Shannon.
our community. Really, really is.
Wow.
All right, I've got one more thing.
I wonder who Shannon's pulling for in the
It's
World
not the
Series.
Expos, man. Definitely not the Expos.
Well, those are the Washington Nationals, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got a couple more comments here that I think would be interesting to pull up. Pops, we've got from Aquilno, I think. Forgive me if I pronounce your name incorrectly. Hey, guys, if the price of cars is going down, do you think we will start seeing that in the price of cars on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, websites like that? I don't think so. What do you think, Dad?
I honestly, I've never really paid attention to Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. So I don't feel informed enough to actually comment.
Well, I just think in general that we're not going to see huge material declines in used cars because that's used cars, and so I'd imagine that you're still going to see crazy high prices over on the used car side of things. You are qualified to comment on robots. We've got from David saying,
Yeah.
do you think the big three just put in a huge order for more robots? And I know this question might be a bit tongue in cheek, but I do think there's an interesting aspect to this, which is there's a significant pressure on these OEMs to find areas to reduce costs. We're talking about an
Sure.
affordability crisis just on the heels of an soon to be, fingers crossed, ratified labor agreement. There is a huge pressure on these OEMs to figure out how to do these things more cost effectively. Part of that could be simplifying their model lineup, not trying to produce everything, anything and everything. But I wouldn't be surprised that if over the next couple decades here, they're forced their hand to figure out ways to produce these things with less labor. It's just, I think, seemingly a function of what's going to happen here as consumers continue to say no thank you to $1,000 a month car payments. I don't know. I know it's a bit maybe touchy-feely subject, but I kind of think they're probably already thinking about that.
Well, here's my guess. It's strictly a guess. Robots don't get cost of living adjustments. Robots don't get health care. Robots don't go on strike. They don't call in sick. They do break down. They can break down, but they don't call in sick. Damn it! They don't. They don't go out and party the night before and then not show up because they don't know how to have those robot parties yet.
Which, to be very clear, I just want to clarify: we are not personifying UAW workers by any of these qualifications. We're
personifying human beings, and human behavior. Okay, there's a reason that bars are packed at night. I'm just saying. Okay, people party, and if we're going to pretend they don't, then I'm done with this nonsense. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, I think they will always look for ways. Every business looks for ways to automate. You know me, I hate to go in the supermarket and not use a cashier. Why? They're not paying me to check myself out. They like me to check myself out because, well, that only requires one person to stand there and come over and fix the damn machine when it doesn't work properly, as opposed to having 6 cashiers sitting there. So every business looks for ways to where they can automate and cut expenses. The automobile manufacturers are going to do the same. Absolutely. Yeah. Now, it's some UAW workers. If they're smart, they'll get trained on how to repair damn robots.
I would just like to mention that it just went off on my phone. I'm getting phone calls now while we're on the show. While I'm on, I can't answer. I can't answer while we're on the show. I apologize. That would not be fair. Yeah, Dad. I think the future is pretty clear. I'm actually now thinking and wondering. I don't have the answer. I didn't look it up. How long this potentially ratified agreement is for?
4 years.
Something that I
believe it's 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
4.
So we don't have to go through this again until 2027.
Clock's ticking, man. Clock's absolutely ticking. You know what we're going to see in automotive news? We're going to see articles about Ford investing $1 billion in plant automation. It's
4
years. That's not that long.
No. No, it's not. And Ford's already said that the settlement will impact the cost of producing a vehicle by $800 to $1,000. So that that there will be an additional price increase, MSRP increase on their vehicles moving forward. You just know there will be, above
Has
and
to be.
beyond the normal year over
Yeah.
year increase.
Which has become more and more aggressive as a result of inflation and prices. Yeah. All right,
Yes.
let's come back, Dad. Auto Insiders with Ray Shepska. Drum roll, please. Do you have a guess? Do you have a guess? We've asked people. We're doing a subscribe drive in anticipation of Monday's launch of a brand new podcast, Auto Insiders with Ray Shepska. Go for it, Dad.
4,020. No, it's like Baccarat. 420. You dropped it, so we're dropping the thousands. 420.
All right, if it's over 420, what are you going to do? Also, I feel so guilty. I keep looking over at my phone. This poor person keeps calling and I can't answer.
Well, you want to answer it?
Yeah. After we do this segment, I will answer the phone. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So you think 420? If it's over 420, what are you going to do?
I'm going to continue interviewing people. How about that? And if it's under 420, I'm still going to continue interviewing people until people tell me to stop.
Refreshing. Oh, 394, Dad. Okay, I'm answering this call.
Okay. So this is what my son does, not in his spare time, but in his work time. Now it's what, 8 minutes to 8 Eastern time, and he's trying to help somebody, and he has a Halloween party that he's supposed to get to. Help me help him get a life. Okay. Can we help this caller, Zach? Is there any way we can help this caller? Yeah, because we're more than happy to.
So can I so yes, be happy to help you. I'm live on YouTube with my dad right now, and there's about 1,100 people with us. Would you feel comfortable if I put you on speakerphone and we all talked? And if you feel uncomfortable about that, I can call you as soon as we get off the show. It'll be in about 10 minutes. Okay. Well, thanks. I'll call you back in 10 minutes. And if you go on YouTube and you watch at the 52-minute mark, that this was us. So thank you for that. Talk soon. Bye.
That's pretty funny. He didn't want the help of the 1,150 people out there.
Very kind woman. Very kind woman.
Okay.
She just wanted to understand how we could help her buy a car, and I will call her on my walk back home.
Okay.
She was like, no.
She didn't want to be a internet sensation.
No, man. No. Always fun here with you, Dad. Always
Yeah.
fun. Okay, Bubba Witcher wants to know what my costume is. I'm going as a chef, which was just some late night Amazon purchasing of a chef hat, and it says Daddy-O of the patio with grill markings on it.
Look at
And
that.
then I'm wearing an apron. I've got another call coming in from this guy.
You know what?
Don't call me on this show, man.
At one time in my life, I wanted to be a radio disc jockey, and I just, with the last name Shefska, I just thought that the name of the show should be The Chef Cooks from. I'm doing morning drive. The Chef Cooks from 6 a.m. to 9. I mean, who wouldn't have tuned in for that? What?
Francis just called to throw me off my game. Come on, man. He asked if we're hiring. Yes, we're hiring. You know we're hiring.
Gotta love Brandon, and the truth is, we do.
I'm wearing an apron. Do you know what my apron says on it?
Too hot to handle.
It says this bee can bake, and it has a bunch of baked goods on it. So I don't know what I'm going as, but I'm dressing up, so it'll be fun.
Okay. No, I think that's great. I hope your kids have fun.
I hope we do too.
Yeah, I'm
All right,
sure you
gang.
will.
CarEdge.com. Please go check it out. All the various resources, things we can do to help you, they are back there. I'm going to call this woman back
Okay.
right after we hop off here. Pops, I hope you had fun on this Saturday evening. I look forward to spending some time with you tomorrow, and let's be up to our normal shenanigans this upcoming week. I would really like that.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure we'll be back Monday on the Ray and Zach channel with news that you can use at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific time. And, we'll be dropping 3, 4, 5 videos next week. And then I don't know if you're available next Saturday night or not, but if you are, I'm in, baby.
Can't wait, Pops. Hey, just going to pull up a couple things from Iceman saying so
Yeah.
much fun ear to ear smiles over here. Yeah, my cheeks always hurt after we do these, so it's like it's a lot of fun for us. We have so much fun. Thank you to everyone that hangs out with us. It means the world to us. JSF Bay says where are the job openings posted? CarEdge.com/careers. So please go check it out. I'm gonna hit the button.
Okay, I think you should, and then you should go have some fun. Oh,
No,
Bobby
then I'm gonna
Duncan.
call.
Bobby
Then I'm gonna
Duncan.
call. I know. Then I'm gonna call one of our
Okay.
community members. Then I'm gonna go have fun. We've got from Bobby here. Thank you for the
Yeah.
contribution, Ray and Zach. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate your authenticity and your passion to share your knowledge to help folks. Now I should call. Yeah, it's can't wait to chat, Bobby. I just to be very clear, the party I'll probably show up around 9 p.m. and Laura's at a different party right now. So usually when I'm with Laura, I try not to answer the phone. I try
Better
my best. We
not.
went to the zoo today. Which was really fun. I didn't answer my phone once at the zoo.
Okay.
But then we were driving somewhere and calls kept coming in, so I answered a couple. But I've got an hour before I'm meeting up with her at the party. So if you call, I'll answer.
And once you get to that party,
I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. Yeah.
absolutely.
Because,
Okay.
Dad, I am the daddy-o of the patio.
The patio. Oh, I can't wait. Ooh, I want pictures.
Go get pictures. All right. Good night, everyone. I love you, Dad. Thank you so
Love
much.
you too, handsome. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.